It's not broke. Hello, everyone. We are back with more A Pact Made in Amber. We're going to jump right into a recap because it's been like 3 weeks and I'm excited to play, so I want to play. So let's recap and get into it. Previously, on A Pact Made in Amber, the crew of the unfortunate Scorpion arrived near the coastal assortment of homesteads known as Beheketa on the northern island of Aquasierra. The day-and-a-half-long journey had been uneventful and allowed the crew some much-needed time to decompress, train, and plan, as well as interact with their fellow crewmates, including the recent additions of Blackbird and Orilla. But now that they had arrived in Beheketa, they needed to set about their mission, discovering whether there was truth to the claims that the naval patrol vessel, the Trapper, was fired upon here. Deciding it might be unwise to sail the Scorpion into the Sound if there was indeed a threat, the party instead weighed anchor outside and traveled overland on a scouting mission. This led to the discovery that there was a fortification being built on a small island just inside the entrance of the area, the perfect place to control the comings and goings, especially with cannon. At this point, the party knew they would need to investigate further and return to the Scorpion to report the situation to the crew and give orders for them to maintain vigil with the vessel. The party then returned overland, choosing a small homestead to approach and ask questions. As they approached, dawn began to break, and they realized they were not the only ones heading to the location. Several longboats were sailing away from the isle where the fortification was being built, one of which was nearly at the homestead the party had ventured towards. Undeterred, perhaps hoping this would lead to more answers, the party pressed on, arriving at the homestead where they were brusquely greeted by a man who seemed both suspicious of them and anxious about everything else in general. Their inquiries were cut short when they heard screams from further into the homestead. Rushing to investigate, they witnessed an assortment of stitched-together individuals, grotesque, gnarled, and seemingly full of malice. War dogs, the agents of Ajax the Invincible, the Iron Saint, overlord of Phaedros, Vasloria, and Kimhara, the enemy of all the free peoples of Orden. The lead war dog, a four-armed amalgamite with two half-faces, had accosted a man and now held a woman up into the air by her head with one hand. The party did not wait to see what was going to happen. They sprang into action, with Higgins flashing across the homestead and cutting the arm that held the woman from the amalgamate's shoulder. A battle ensued in which a fire broke out amongst the homestead, and the party butchered the war dogs. But not before one of the homesteaders was crushed, his body popped like a blood-filled balloon by the amalgamate. Seeing most of their comrades slain, two of the war dogs now flee back to their vessel, while the last two remain to fight. And that is where we will fade into our battle cam, and immediately go back into the fight, which I believe, Pickle, Mark, would you
Yes.
like to re-burn some people?
Yes, I would love to burn people.
If you would like to, I'm gonna flip it back to player turn, and you can go ahead and jump right in with the flaminating.
So anyway, I started burning.
So anyway,
Flaminator. It's Burninator. That's
burninating all the people.
Oh,
All the trogdors.
okay. Wait, where's my character sheet? What is this? Okay, sorry. When I clicked my turn, it brought up all my characters, and I have to scroll through all my people. Bring up.
Can I just make a shortcut to roll dice?
What is that? Okay. Hold on. Okay, I don't actually like the thing because it doesn't show me all my abilities. Okay, anyways, start a turn. Minion starter, combat minion starter turn.
Flip token.
Actually, I'm gonna sacrifice these two people.
Sacrificing two of the little fire plumes.
Now, I think somehow they.
Are you turning?
Yeah, if you hit F, you can change the facing
Oh,
of
shit.
your token.
Oh shit!
I'm finding things.
Everyone selects their token and rapidly presses F.
Bah, 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 bah.
It's kind of cool.
But I don't think I am in control of these two currently because I don't see a way to. I can't get to my triggers or sacrifice.
Sacrifice them. Okay. We can always try stuff manually. What's your plan? You just want to get rid of them and...
Yes, because I can only have 2 squads.
Yeah.
And so I need to sacrifice them to be able to make my other elementals.
Okay. So if you don't have a trigger, I'll just delete them, and then we can just drop in... do you get anything for sacrificing them? Do you, like, reduce the cost?
I get 2 essence, or
Okay.
I get a
Gotcha.
essence per sacrifice.
I will delete and delete, and we'll just manually add the 2 essence to you. Where is your essence? I'm blind. Where is your essence? What the? What the? Oh, there it is. I had 2. Oh, I'm dropping a whole bunch down there. Gotcha.
All right, then. Okay,
Ping and summon camp. Shift long click.
They have an ability. Where?
What is this arrow?
So they have a.
Sorry, I got
Where
distracted.
is-
Jay's distracting me by doing stuff on the map.
Sorry.
What's up, Mark?
I was just trying to get to their other abilities of Catless.
Okay.
It says once per turn, the moat can transform into an adjacent ally signature minion. No,
Yeah.
that is not what I wanted. Yes, no, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to.
Maybe.
Yes, I wanted to. All triggers. Where's the triggers? Or maybe main action. How do I get back to my person?
You gotta click on yourself again.
Okay, that was my trigger. Now main action.
Mhm.
Doesn't show my. There it is. Okay.
What's your goal? I might be able to
call
help.
forth.
Okay.
Call forth.
that's
other-
cool. It just popped up a card for call forth.
Yeah.
I think it was doing that before, wasn't it?
If you click it, yeah, I think like during the action, it should pop it up for everyone. The
Right.
thing is a lot of times we're clicking through so quickly that it doesn't stay around very long. I don't think it's always done that since we started, though. I think that is like in the past couple months.
One time I remember
Yeah, I
something
was
else
gonna say
popping
it
up
hasn't
when,
always been there, but
Yeah.
yeah, I just remember whenever Mitch did hesitation as weakness.
Hesitation is weakness.
That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted. Okay, can I go back? Okay, so I wanted some more flow of magmas. Or magmas.
You sure? So you didn't want to summon these little guys.
They come free for the thing. I was just trying to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for the turn.
So call forth.
Duck.
The
He's right there.
it's summon. Hold on. God. This is why it's
This is why it's a
Sacrifice
master
me.
class.
Yes. I should have looked at this while we were waiting.
You're
Terrible.
good. Not a problem.
So essentially, it's a 3 essence to summon 2 of these guys, and so
Okay.
it's a
Easy
I thought it
peasy.
was call forth.
I thought it was call
Or-
forth. Signature minions,
Eh.
other monster. No, signature minions, isn't it? Signature.
I thought so.
Summon 1 signature minion for each essence you spend. Walking bolt. Oh, you only have the walking boulder and the elemental moat as your. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
Cancel that.
or is it?
Oh,
No,
do
because
you?
that's how I turn these into
is
fire
it
plumes.
turning? Yeah. Catalyst turns into
Hold on.
Briscale, Fire Plume, or Walking Moat. Don't remember. Minions at the start of combat, elemental of beam. Blah, blah, blah. I could have sworn it was call forth. Could have sworn it was call forth.
Yeah, hold on. I'm pulling up the summoner cheat sheet. Where is?
Yeah. Okay. So call forth, but instead of signature minions, all other monsters. I thought they were signature, but click the all other
Use
monsters
force.
and then click confirm,
Yeah.
and it'll flow of magma will be
Yes.
in there.
There it goes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can hop. There you go.
Elemental summon bonus signature minion at no cost. Elemental fire. Sure. Okay. Now.
But
I want
your
to.
cap of minions is 8 minions, right? Or do you
I
have the
believe so,
thing
yes.
that lets you? What is it?
I
Is it
have the thing that gives me more.
the thing that lets you do 12. I think, right?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
A one-man
Oh,
army.
Yeah. Max number is 12. Okay. All right. So I was trying to see if I can get down here. Let's see. If I do this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Still not close enough. Damn.
Hmm.
Okay. I'll have to leave that to Higgins.
He can toot. I just imagined Higgins being like Egyptian themed and like wearing like one of the pharaoh headdresses.
I used to know what those were called.
Yeah,
Those are
once upon a time.
called.
All right. So then they use. Can I do a summon? Do it for all of them?
A nemesis.
Nemesis.
I knew that. I forgot.
I believe you. You looked it up.
So
You
I
never
did
knew.
just now because I forgot.
Nah, you never.
when I
knew.
do a
I
thing,
did.
when I do the move,
Pinky
it's
pop.
for everybody, right? So if I do Maction Molten Strike, that's for everybody in the squad, correct?
I believe so. I think so. But you should be able to move them all individually, and then select their action afterwards.
Oh. All right, roll dice.
Rolling
You'll
some
be able to activate
dice.
this trigger once the roll is
You
made.
rolling the dice.
Oh wow, the card is even showing the rolls. That's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool.
Yep.
I like
Focus fire.
This is a great UI.
Yeah, it's-
this change is amazing.
Working real nice. Everything that they're adding is really. There's some other stuff. Oh my god, I can't wait till y'all see some of the terrain card things because they now pop up like. Oh, it's cool. It's cool.
Okay, so
we'll see.
that's dumb. So how does it make the shift 4? So, like, 1, 2.
You have to accept, and then after the accepting,
Okay.
you'll get the prompt to do shifts.
Oh,
and
I see.
stuff like
Accept
that.
results. Okay.
Yeah. So hit accept results, and it'll deal all the damage, and then you can actually do any of the other triggered stuff afterwards.
See how much essence do I have left? I have 2. Let's do it. Focus fire.
Focus fire! Oh god.
Fire the focus.
Accept results. And
They're all dead. They're all dead. Everyone's dead. Oh god.
Excited. Look at the fire.
I like how the fire like jiggles towards them.
is it only one person gets
Jiggle?
Molten Strike?
Oh,
I
maybe it was
don't
just like a
know.
weird after effect of the token moving. It looked like
It's
it was jiggling to me.
Probably supposed to be all of them.
Yeah.
But only
But I
two.
had one selected.
Yeah, but you had one selected. I think you have to do it like each individually. But both of those guys are dead if you want to click on them.
Okay. Okay.
Because you can click to pop their little heads, I think.
The, like, you get to actually do the
I
killing.
click it. I click it and it doesn't do anything.
It's not... Okay. Dismiss, trigger... You click on them now.
Like I can.
There you go. There you go. It's because I had triggers on them. The game was trying to be like, hold up, you can do something first. Okay, so those two die. The collars around their necks explode, which does a little bit of damage to some of the fiery worms. But
So when I clicked it, it gave me the chance to roll for the explosion on one of them.
Oh.
And then I guess you did the other one.
Sweet. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anything else for your turn? Oh, it killed some of your wisps because they were close
Yeah, I'm
enough.
gonna move this with.
Run, little
back
wisp!
here.
Run!
Wisp runs away.
Run, little wisp!
Okay. And that'll be maneuvers. I don't have anything. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm done in
Okay.
turn.
Okay, these guys are on the boat. They will. There's only 2 of them. This is a very large boat for just 2 people, but they grab oars and they're trying to like shove their way off of the docks. But it's very clear they are going to have a difficult time trying to get this long ship off of the docks on their own. But they're trying. Bless their hearts.
Jeremy, how are they trying? Are they rowing? Are
No,
they
they've
just
got these
using-
oars that they've pulled up, and they're literally like shoving against the ground and the
Okay, yeah,
docks
they're pushing
themselves to
against
try to
the
like
dock.
push off.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mark, is your turn done?
his turn
Yes.
is done, and now the enemy turn is.
Hesitation is weakness.
And you didn't have to hesitation as weakness. They were already doing the thing. Go ahead. I do love the banner though. It is great.
I want more of that. I want more of that shit.
There is more. There is more, and there is more coming, and you can custom make them too.
Plug.
I'm on the boat.
And no wonder I
Let me
touch it
put
until it's the
custom
right
images
temperature.
for
Don't
them,
get it too hot.
please.
I don't know if you can do custom.
I will say all
images.
the animations are making it super laggy in game when I do like the roll
Oh.
the dice and stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah?
Well,
Yeah, mine's acting weird. It's like
Oh, mine.
make sure it's not your VPN, Mitch.
no,
Yeah, it's not
mine.
mine.
I don't know. It's just maybe I'll have to relaunch it after this.
Higgins, you teleported onto the boat. What else?
And I'm gonna do a wee bit of murdering.
Yeah, you hear in your mind, more, maim,
More.
kill, destroy.
Bansii is gonna ask really quick, like yelling out, "Is there gonna be any problem if we just kill them all?"
Too late.
Okay. Never mind.
You yell that out as Higgins skewers one, flings him into the other, and then just like steps and stabs him in the throat. Because you killed both of them with that.
You
Alright,
do that, you
never
turn around and go, what?
As you do the kill, so the collars do explode. You took 3 damage. I'm gonna heal you for 1. No, I'm gonna heal you for 2. undo. I'm gonna heal you for
'cause I
2,
absorbed
rather
them.
than set your
My shakes are
HP to 2.
My snakes are moving too. Sorry.
I'm gonna heal you for 2 because even as you kill them before the collars explode, the glaive empowers you, right, like shielding you temporarily, and eating a little bit. Bansii misunderstood the assignment. So temporarily shielding you and deflecting some of the blast, and that is combat.
But I misunderstand the assignment.
Murder everyone. That's always the assignment. No,
I mean, I'm
It's
pretty
not always
sure
the assignment.
I think it's
it
a
is with
very.
these guys.
But they
I'm
turned
pretty
that
sure.
guy into a freaking blood balloon.
Look at
They had to be
this!
dealt with.
There's a victory
Oh,
screen
cool.
now,
Oh, that's
Wow.
cool.
and it
Midget
oh
mower.
no, Jay! It
Oh,
gives you
excellent.
it gives you green check
Green
marks,
circles.
Jay.
Check marks.
Oh no, Jay
Look at
hates
that.
Jay hates green check marks.
How do I get rid of the screen?
I click proceed.
Assume-
I'm awarding you
Oh,
all a
right.
victory for it.
You can make it stay on the screen for Jay.
Oh, okay. Oh, hey, it auto desummons your guys.
I
Oh,
chose to do that.
You
yeah.
did that? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's very neat. Okay. So, flipping over back to some calmer music.
I can still hear you guys, but I'm gonna get water.
You can still hear us, but you're
Okay.
going to get water. Great. Okay. The immediate aftermath of this scuffle sees the ground amidst this homestead littered with the corpses of war dogs, plus the one man, the homesteader, over which is the woman who was also injured during the fight, crying over his body. This guy up near Indy and Uvik and Bansii, the guy that you had initially been talking to, he's like on his ass, having like scooted away as he had gotten attacked, right? He was the one that the chained sword guy had threw the sword into and tried to pull, but I think it was Bansii had like teleported him away, right? In response. Saving his life undoubtedly, and then there's the two figures over on the side who have shifted slightly and are kind of like behind this ramshackle hut that they're watching you. They're watching like the central column on fire, and everything else otherwise is quiet. There's an extreme like dissonance very suddenly, right? Like the shouting, the fighting, the killing, and then the only like sound remaining of that is this woman sobbing over the body of the dead man. And you hear like gulls, birds, right? Like cawing out over the sound, as all around you, the rest of the world just keeps on trucking the way it normally does, and it's got a weird tone to it. What do you all do in the aftermath of this fight?
The water. I'm assuming it's seawater, it's salt water, right? It's not. This isn't like a fresh water river.
No, yeah, definitely salt water.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna start taking
Actually,
what bits of the war dogs are laying around and start hucking them into the ocean.
Sure. I would say Uvik, you're definitely the most like seaworthy dog of the crew, right? And you probably know terrain features like this fairly intimately. You would know where you're at. Yeah, definitely seawater. But this is kind of a unique environment in the concept that seawater washes in from the tide, right? But somewhere into the sound, there's going to be a point where the seawater mixes with fresh water, and then beyond that, there's going to be a portion where it's more fresh water than seawater.
So it's going upstream, like.
Well, so like there's definitely some sort of body of water further upstream that flows into this like sound, this not quite a bay, it's like an inlet kind of scenario.
Well,
but the sea will push back, and so like it's a little bit of tug of war in between. So it's a diverse
if I know
ecosystem.
That there's a chance that these literal like reanimated body parts are going to wash up into eventually fresh water. I would not do that. I guess I just start chunking them in the pyre.
No, I would say you have no reason to believe that there aren't things that are going to eat the shit out of these bodies before they get anywhere. Parts and pieces may wash up eventually, but these bodies are definitely going to get eaten if you throw them into the water.
Let's hold off on throwing the bodies into the water, because we might be able to use this ship to get out to the fortress now. But if they find bodies of their people, they're going to be
I was going to say, we need to have a powwow to figure out
what are you talking about. They're going to see that and be like, replenishment.
Higgins, what are you doing immediately after you slay the two War Dog commandos that had been attempting to flee?
I placed the glaive inside the body of one so it can bask in the blood of this slain foe.
Jesus.
No, I'm just kidding. I grab the two bodies.
Okay.
And I bring them back ashore. And I make sure that the boat is moored so it doesn't like float away or something.
You see that it had, when they landed, they kind of like ran the flat tip of it aground on the kind of like very shallow beach here. So it shouldn't go anywhere unless it is like pushed off. It should be fine.
Gotcha. I know they were trying to push it. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. They did not have a chance to succeed or make any real headway before you butchered them.
Perfect. Okay.
So you bring the bodies ashore, up onto the deck, and then what happens? Specifically for Higgins.
Specifically for Higgins?
Yeah, are you just like crossing over to your party?
Something I'm missing where I'm going to be punished because I don't remember it?
Nope, not at all. I'm just asking what you're doing, because the rest of your party is kind of like gathered up in the north, because they did not have to like traverse further into the homestead. So I'm just... I assume you're all gathering to kind of like discuss things, and I'm curious exactly what Higgins' situation is going to be.
I would walk over towards the woman and the man who died.
Yeah.
Kind of like try to throw the body of the war dog amalgamite away from them. And then I would just look at her and say, I'm so sorry.
As you kind of like move the amalgamate away from her, it draws her attention. Before you get a chance to say anything to her, she lunges at you and throws herself at your chest and starts battering your what, like 7 foot tall, like broad stoned chest.
I grab her wrist and just kind of stop that. She's gonna hurt her hands.
It extremely ineffectually, right? Like battering her hands against your chest. You know, like try to restrain her so that she doesn't hurt herself more. She's sobbing. She's inconsolable. She's like scream ranting. This is your fault. Why'd you do this? If you had just, they would have just left. And where's the glaive?
On my back.
This is the first time you will have heard the glaive when it is not in your hand. You hear the glaive. Kill?
Nope. We no kill.
You've been pretty willing to kill with the glaive so far, Higgins.
Yeah. People who were enemies.
You feel a sense of confusion from the glaive, of disappointment, of annoyance, and then you feel a sharp stab in your
you
back.
motherfucker.
I need you to roll a d6.
Fine. I'm stabbing back.
Oh,
Not the 6. Come on.
Not the 6. You feel a sharp stab in your back as you're like holding this woman's wrists, like keep preventing her from hurting herself, and you can see like her distress is just the distress of a person who has just lost someone. It's not it is directed at you, but is it deserving? Are you deserving of that direction? Questionable, right? You feel this stab in your back, and you physically feel your blood being drained from you. And the glaive upon your back feels warm as you take 6 damage. But then you hear in your mind, the first word from the glaive that hasn't been kill, maim, destroy, more, something like that, right? You hear fine, and the glaive goes quiet and inert on your back. You feel as if the moment has passed and you're not liable to get stabbed in the back immediately again.
So wait, was the 6 the good roll then?
No, the 6 was a bad roll. The 6 was a bad roll. That was how much damage he was taking.
When it stabbed me.
Yeah. That was how much blood the thing demanded in response.
Well,
Alright,
hope
well.
it's like it starts off a fucking 6.
In the immediate aftermath, the woman kind of like goes lax, and she's just crying, and the other woman comes like rushing up. You see the other people in this homestead kind of like move into action. The man moving over to the guy that's on the ground and kind of like helping him up and trying to like staunch some of the bleeding. It's not a mortal blow, but it still needs to be taken care of. The woman coming over, and she kind of like approaches you, and it's very clear that she's a little worried, but she kind of like tentatively looks at you and then looks at the woman as if like she'll take her, right?
Yeah. I just kind of mutter another apology and hand her over.
The other woman takes the kind of sobbing, inconsolable woman, bundles her up in her arms, and she gives you this kind of like incline of her head, like this nod, and almost imperceptibly mutters a thanks before kind of like turning away to carry the woman away from the situation to recover or to like calm down or that type of situation to allow the feelings to resolve, and you're able to rejoin your party.
I head on over with the others.
Yep. Okay, now what the fuck is everyone doing? You prevented Yuvik from tossing the bodies to the fishies.
I was gonna ask which one of us knows the most about our new enemy here that we've.
Oh,
good question.
If you're asking out loud, I'll say it's not new at all.
Oh, okay. Is that like a statement of Yuvik? Like,
Yeah.
Yuvik, you think you know a lot?
Drop.
What?
Yeah, commence the drop.
are you the one that wants to speak for the party on this?
I mean, sure.
scenario?
At first, I'll walk up to these two.
No,
and-
sorry. It's not like engage the NPCs on it. Bansii was asking like, what this enemy, the war dogs, these people that you just fought, like, is this a new thing for everyone, or is there stuff that everyone knows? I gave you all a bit of a lore dump last time we played, right? And said along the lines of like, everyone knows of Ajax, or at least anyone that is in the know, and I consider you all to be individuals who would be in the know, and you would all know of the war dogs, but each of you might have different past experiences that make you more or less familiar with Ajax, with the war dogs, with the rest of the shit happening in the world. And I think that's what Bansii was asking about, right? Was, does anyone have insider trading information that they want to like throw out here? And I would say I think that's up to you all. Obviously, like, I'll have to help parse what you know, but I think it's if Higgins thinks he knows a lot about like what, because Higgins comes from Vesloria, and I think Indy also comes from Vesloria, so maybe they know some specifics about what happened in Vesloria, right?
Or has anyone had dealings with them previously?
Yeah, direct dealings. Like, Yuvik,
Yeah.
have you ever actually, like, did your pirate crew ever specifically encounter war dogs out on the
yeah, more
open
than once.
oceans? Okay, so that's I
than
think what Bansii's interested in discussing at the moment.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out what our best course of action is here, especially when dealing with these people who are very disgruntled with us.
I will say for
They're
clarity,
super disgruntled.
yeah, I will say for clarity, the two women have walked off to one of the huts to kind of like give the grieving woman some privacy. The two men are looking at you almost as like saviors, right? Like, they're trying to stay out of your way, but they seem very thankful that you have intervened and potentially saved their lives. So there's a little bit of disgruntledness, but that disgruntledness might be specifically because of the loss of a person and having no one else to just direct it at, right? You know?
Yeah.
I would like to approach the two guys and
Sure.
ask them, a series of questions.
Shoot.
Starting with like, how are they okay? Do they need any immediate medical attention? And then followed up by, get information about the war dogs, the fortification, on cannon use, since that's why we're here. Information like that.
Yeah. Okay, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
see if they actually have used cannons from it.
yeah. So Indy will approach the two guys and start talking to them. Is anyone else wanting to do anything else while this discussion's kind of happening? Is there like a group conferral happening off over here while Indy is talking with the people, or do other people want to get involved in that conversation? Is there some scouting
I wanna
happening?
Get involved.
Okay, so Yuvik and Indy are going to talk to the guys. Bansii, Higgins, anything going on there specifically? Anything else happening?
I'll look to secure the perimeter, make sure there wasn't, another boat landing further down the beach or something weird, and just I'm gonna scout around while they're talking.
Yeah. You can see this homestead is kind of on this little promontory, right? It's kind of like jutting out into the sound itself a wee bit. So if you go over to like this east side, you can see further out into the sound, and you can see those other longships, right, that had pushed off from the isle and gone off in different directions that you all saw while you were up on the hill.
Okay.
Okay. Bansii, anything for you? Do you want to do anything solo? Do you want to go with Higgins? Do you want to stay with Indy and Yuvik?
I am going to ask Yuvik how urgently we should get back to the boat to warn our crew about this threat.
Oh, it's a
I
question.
mean, I'll look at the horizon. Do we see any other boats being deployed or sailing around the fort or the coastline?
I would say that's going to be a little difficult to determine in the middle of this homestead, and that's kind of what Higgins is off doing on the side, is gathering that intel for you right now of like what's the comings and going outs in the Sound. Where you're at right now is going to be a little difficult to ascertain that information.
Okay. Then I'll say I'm not sure. I'll notice that Higgins is checking all the corners, and we'll just wait for him to report back before we make a call.
I would say, with that being said, Bansii, does that make you want to go after Higgins, or do you still want to stay here?
It makes me feel like with such a small boat, the better odds would be that I go and warn, and you guys catch up with me and let me know what these people are saying. So like I'll trust you guys to make all of the good decisions, and I'm gonna go back to the boat and prep it for a quick evac.
So you want to leave? You want to leave now personally to make sure you get to the Scorpion in time to warn them of potential danger,
and to prep us all for this entire village or whatever this is to be gone.
Okay. Bansii tells you her intent, Yuvik, and then she leaves.
Okay.
Okay.
I will say this is day 1 of 4. We still have time.
Well, this is day 2, half into day 2, because it took you a day and a half to get here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're still not.
This is the morning of day 2. Yeah. And you need a day to get back, so you really only have like 2 days
tomorrow.
Here. Yeah, you have today and tomorrow to figure this all out before you need to leave to get back in time. So
didn't account for travel time in our 4 days. That's messed up.
I think they were accounting for travel time in the 4 days. All right. Gonna just like address a couple things. So Indy and Yuvik, you approach the 2 men. The one has kind of like helped the other to his feet. He's got his shirt open, and you can see the gash across his flesh isn't that bad across his chest. He got hit with that like chainsword thing. It's not too bad on his chest. The worst part is actually his shoulder, where the hook of the blade kind of like dug in and pulled him forward. So this other man, very, very big, broad fellow, kind of like a bunch of facial hair, kind of like kind of got that kind of Scandinavian vibe going on. Blondish, big, but not like fat, but like just big, kind of situation. He's very kind of like delicately trying to administer to this other guy who's injured as the 2 of you approach. And Indy, you said you wanted to kind of like inquire about, is he okay? Does he need, medical attention? And
Correct.
The guy, he'll turn and he'll say, I think Urho, he gestures to the guy. I'm Anton, this Urho. I think he's gonna be okay. I've got some stuff to patch him up. It's just he's not bleeding too bad. And he kind of looks back at the popped body. And he kind of like grimaces, and he wish it was the same for Torsty, but
sorry, we couldn't have done more. It happened so quickly.
You're not to blame. I mean, I don't.
How long have they been here?
They've been.
Assuming it's been a while, if they've been able to construct that.
It's been about a month and a half, close to 2, I think.
Wow.
How often do they come ashore?
Every day.
What for?
People and food, supplies. They take people out to the island to work for a few days, then bring them back, as long as they behave.
All right. So is anybody else missing from this island or from this town?
No. Torsty and I were there a couple days ago. We've been there for less than a week. We got back.
What did you do for them? Work on the fortification?
All stone, dig dirt, ditches, move rubble. Yeah. At first they had
Did
us.
you see any cannons? First they had you what?
I didn't seen the cannons.
Have you heard them? They were
They-
very loud.
I don't think they were there the last time Torsty and I were there, but yeah, we heard them a couple days ago when that ship came into the Sound.
Ah. So it's true. There's cannons here.
Who are you all? You and you see the other guy kind of like croak. His voice is like a little weak because he's a little fucked up. He says, "You said you came from, I don't remember what the fuck town we named
The
it
one we
as.
made up.
I don't remember the town we made up, but he says you
I
said
don't
you were
remember
from
either.
X town. I'm not sure I believe you anymore."
No, that would be a lie. Sorry, we came from the.
Off me. Get off of me.
I look to you, Vika, and be like, should we say or?
We're
I mean,
we're far mariners from Puos.
You see Urho, the injured one. He kind of he looks confused, as if that doesn't ring as much of a bell as maybe you expected it to. But Anton, like, his eyes widen. And he nods and he says, that makes sense. So you're here to what? Stop them?
well,
Eventually,
here to gather information.
investigate and solve if possible.
You.
What were their numbers like on the island?
Dozens. They send out patrols, so at any given time, maybe 2 or 3 dozen that are missing, but typically on the island itself, they got 40 or 50 at any given time.
It's a decent
Where did
number.
they come from?
You all should
Last I
talk.
heard, Ajax forces were on the east side of the planet.
Some. Anton looks at you and he says, and you can see, right, like this man again, like, has that kind of Scandinavian look, but that doesn't really matter in Orden, right? Because of the Kalian Empire, right? The Kalian Empire was this kind of Roman-esque analog empire from 1,000 years ago. They had a policy of like repatriating people across the world. So everywhere in Orden that you go, like, you go to Vanar, and you'll find a black, white-haired Vanarman, right? You can find all races across all of the different countries of Orden because of the repatriation of the Kalians. So what this guy looks like doesn't necessarily mean anything, but what he sounds like matters. And his accent is thickly Vaslorian, which I think both Yuvik and Indy could identify. Yuvik being a pirate who's traveled a lot, and Indy being from Vasloria, right? So you can kind of identify his placement by his accent. And he says, kind of in response to Yuvik's slight outburst, he says, Ajax is everywhere. Will be everywhere. We learned that lesson the hard way. And then he kind of like he's a little, he was distracted by that, so he kind of like turns back to Indy, is like, sorry, what were you asking?
Honestly, yeah, I forgot what I was going to ask.
He chuckles at that, right? Like, he did a little bit of levity in a very dark situation where he's like, that'll happen. You all should talk to Hedvin.
Who is Hedvin?
He runs the market. He points east. Says, north side, about halfway up the sound, where everyone goes to trade their goods, get stuff. Anytime we get a trader vessel that comes in, that's where they go to offload things. We ain't really much for central leadership out here. That's kind of beside the point. But if there was a person that most people trust and most people go to for something, it'd be Hedvin. And from what I've heard,
go ahead.
You ask. He says, there's been a couple, 2, maybe 3 over the last month or so, and it's been fine. They come in, they don't get some. It's clear, like, they're contacted, but they trade their goods and they move on. There's
I've not heard of them if there's been traders here.
Hedvin said Hedvin says there's some sort of enchantment at the mouth of the sound. That they put up something to keep things secret. That people who leave don't remember what they saw. Hedvin sent some people to try to get some help. He'd been talking about trying to resist, to rise up against them, but most people don't think we can do it without some sort of assistance. There's just too damn many of them.
I bring out like a book or a journal and I write down the information real quick and fold it and be like, read me. And I put it in my pocket.
Yeah, sure. Make a note for yourself in case you forget it later. Absolutely.
Memento style.
Yeah.
Time question mark?
Time.
So
shut up, Jay.
Sorry, that's inside joke from very early when we started playing TTRPGs. Mitch took a note of time ? And had no fucking clue what it was about, and we have not let him live it down since. And I do not think we will let him live it down for the next decade.
No, that's fair.
It's fair. We all have those. We all have those.
Are they only on the island, or do they have positions elsewhere on?
They patrol, and I don't know that they have any one place that they set up at length, but they'll camp out at a place for a while. Like, they were north of here for a couple days, 2 or 3 weeks back, and they're at the market a lot of times, keeping an eye on things. And sometimes they're at other places for a while, but their only base is the fort.
What information did you say the man at the market could provide?
Edvin's the only person I'd call a leader around these parts, and he's been trying to talk to people in private to rise up and do something, to take a stand. So if you're trying to fight these guys, you should probably talk to him.
Okay.
No offense to y'all. Y'all diddle seem very efficient at killing, but I don't know that the four of you are gonna take on that any points back at the fort.
Challenge accepted.
Oh God.
Hey, Mitch, you want to sail out to that fortification without doing anything else? You be my fucking guest. I will drop 50 tokens on that fucking fort map, and we will go.
Oh, only 50?
It'll be fine. Bansii will clear out
initiated.
half of those in 2 turns. Mark will,
And they just explode
Indy
and
will
kill
do
each
the other
other.
2. It'll be great. Chain
Yeah, I jump
detonations.
in the middle, kill a bunch, and die from loyalty collars.
It's like watching Gundam.
Well, I don't. Thank you for your help. I don't have anything else. Yuvik, do you?
Yeah, no, I think we're pretty much covered. I guess is there
Well,
anything we can do to help in the meantime? Until
I
until
actually probably
our
have arrived back around this time, and I kind of do have
Absolutely.
one more question.
That absolutely
Um,
will be a thing. So let's break this and let's pop over to Higgins real quick. So Higgins, you before this conversation started, you head over to the east, trying to do some scouting and reconnaissance because you can see more of the sound from this side of the promontory. What are you looking for?
Mhm.
What's your goal here?
Honestly, I'm just looking to see if there's any sort of land forces kind of patrolling this area. Like, obviously, they seem to be coming in by boat to collect whatever
Sure.
their tithe or whatever bullshit that they're doing here.
Yeah,
But
You don't-
like, do they have patrols on the land?
you don't see anything. You don't see any sort of patrols. You see these long ships. You see a couple of them still moving out and about in the sound. Not like as if they're patrolling, but as if they're going to places. They just haven't reached those places yet. This promontory is actually pretty close to the fortification in comparison to a lot of the other places around the sound. You also see other vessels, other boats, like smaller, right? Like little fishing boats, kind of like the ones that are tied up at the dock right now, right? Smaller than the longboats. Presumably people out fishing in the morning. So people are going about their lives. These homesteaders across Behekata are going about their lives, doing what they normally do to survive. It's just at the same time they are having to deal with these war dogs coming to conscript them from time to time.
Okay, so they're just conscripting. They're not like taking taxes or anything like that.
You don't know specifically because you're not the one asking those questions
sure.
at this point, right? So you're off on your own. But from what you're looking at, from what you're seeing, this does not seem to be like a peoples that are being governed, that are being taxed. This seems like people that can't defend themselves, that are maybe just being press ganged into service.
Got him. Okay.
Like, if the war dogs show
Okay.
up and they want something, these people's choices are give it up or else.
All right. I'm gonna gather up all the corpses then of the war dogs and shit, and put them all in one spot, and then I'm gonna ask Indy. Hey, Indy, how taxing is it for you to summon one of your little boulder guys?
The boulder shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Okay. I pile all of the bodies a little ways outside of town. So can you summon a rock guy on top of that and then make him be a rock forever?
Just like a little rock mound over him.
Yeah.
Should we not burn them first and then?
I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't want the smell of burning flesh in my town.
Burning them will also cause smoke to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, when brief flashback, right? When the two of you, I think it was Yuvik, asked, "Is there anything else that you can do for these two men?" Anton would have pointed at the burning post and said, "Hey, can you put that out?" Right? So there's that. But then also Higgins or Mitch, didn't you say you wanted to ask them something when you came back over there?
Yeah, and then I got distracted by the patrol thing.
I distracted you. I apologize.
Oh. So they mentioned that they have been going and doing work there. If we wanted to sneak in under the guise of doing work for them, is there anything we should know? Or how could we make ourselves seem like we fit in doing that?
Anton looks at you dubiously. Looks you up and down and says, I'm
definitely gonna get recruited if I go over there, but
no offense or anything, but they've been here for a month or two. I feel like they've met most folk, and you all, he just kind of like does a sweeping gesture. You all don't look like most folk around here, so you might have a hard time sneaking in.
Fair.
No good way to ask this, but do slave traders come through here?
He kind of shrugs and he says, "They ain't in the past, but I don't know if I could say that they don't now. We haven't been getting much contact with most of the other homesteads lately. Couple of them, Hedwin, but it hasn't felt safe to be out and about."
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna start
The body gathering and cairn building scenario can begin at this point. Okay. Anything else that you all think you kind of want to do here? Bansii has already left, right? Heading back towards the boat. Worried, right, that there's actual danger here, but also wanting to tell them, hey, everyone needs to be ready to hightail it the fuck out of here. Is the group that is still in this little homestead, are you all gonna like finish up here and then just make your way following Bansii to the Scorpion, or are you gonna wait for her return?
I want to pull.
She's not returning.
She's okay. She would have informed you.
I was going to prep the boat in case we needed to leave quickly.
Okay.
Gone forever.
She said, "I'm going to the boat to make sure things are good on the boat and to prep the boat. So y'all come get me when you're done here."
Yes, it was a very much like,
okay.
I feel like we're gonna have to leave quickly scenario. So I'm gonna go like make it so that when you guys come, we can just like skedaddle.
All right. So are we going to speak to Mayor Man, or are we just bouncing?
Real quick, I want to take, while we're gathering up the bodies, I want to pull Higgins inside and be like, what do you think is going to happen to them once the patrol doesn't come back? The villagers, do we have room to take them, or if they?
I mean, yeah, we have room to take the villagers. There's not that many here. We could fit them on the boat. But do they want to?
Yeah.
I think that was kind of my thought before I left, and maybe I should have said that more clearly. We can roll back time and say that.
Sure.
It's if the boat doesn't come back, I feel like this village is probably not going to survive it. And if what they say is true, and there's a lot of them, which was my inkling, is that there's probably a lot of guys back there, we're not fortified enough, especially if they have cannons, to take on the entire little fort that they're building out there. So we're going to have to go phone home for backup anyway. So I was thinking that we probably, before they figure out that we've killed their little boat, need to get back on our boat and GTFO to go get backup so that we can handle the situation and maybe save the villagers or the townspeople.
Do any of you people still in this homestead, now that we're kind of like talking about this situation, do you want to ask more specific questions about like these boat patrols and how they behave and stuff like that?
Yeah, that.
I'm not trying to lead the witness or anything, right? If it's something, if you all feel you've made up your minds on the situation, by all means, I'm just saying.
No, I mean,
there may be more information for you to have here.
Sure. No, I mean, it's a good idea. Like, I would ask. So these patrols that come to conscript you guys, how often are they coming by? Do they head straight back? How much time would you guys have before they would be worried about this ship missing?
Anton's doing most of the talking. So I'm just gonna go with that concept. Anton answers you kind of not like. I mean, I don't know their schedule, right? But the way things have been running the last month and a half or so, I've been on that island 3 times, I think. Each time for a couple of days, and then they bring me back. I don't know. I feel Hedvin says that the way they're doing it is they're trying to keep us docile. Docile? They're trying to keep us from getting too mad, too pissed off about things, so that we don't try to do nothing. And yeah, so like they come and they pick up a couple people from a place and they take them. You know, normally it's like 1 or 2 boats that'll go out, and then they'll go to a couple of different homesteads and pick up a couple of different people, so it's not like everyone from one place, and then they'll take them back and they'll work for a couple days, and then they'll bring them back, and then maybe they take a couple more people from that homestead that they brought back to, or maybe they'll move on to a couple of different that way everyone kind of gets cycled every, couple weeks or so, and it don't
trying to disappear a couple of people and piss everyone off at one time.
Hedvin says that way it's not like they're trying to keep us from being agitated, trying to make it feel like it's okay when it's not.
Okay.
And so
I think you mentioned this earlier, but where's Hedvin?
At the market. It's north side of the sound, about halfway up.
If you if you were to go, how long would it take for you to come back with Hedvin?
To the market?
Yes, because you said we'd be recognized as outsiders, correct?
You'd be recognized if you tried to present yourselves to. There's outsiders that come and go, right? But if you went to the fort and were like, hey, we wanna, because he said, how do we get in, like, disguised wise? And to me, that meant y'all going to the fort to be like, oh, we want to work here. And I'm not sure they'd buy that.
I see.
But like, you should be able to just walk into the market or row
How
into
far
the
is it from
market.
here, travel-wise?
It's so he'll give you an answer, and I will give you an answer by looking at where's the
And
thingy?
time of travel.
Where's the thingy? Do I not have it here? I might not have it here. Let's snag. Let's pop. We don't really need this map anymore, so we're gonna pop back to the Behekata general map because it might serve us better.
Teammates, ask them when that boat would have been expected back, so that you can gauge.
I was gonna reiterate that. I was gonna reiterate that for everyone. So everyone should be back on the map that Indy kind of like had made, cobbled together, right, from the things that he got. So you're basically down here, right? This part up here, this big like little wagon thing, is the market. So we determined previously each of these squares, right, is about a half a mile. So walking there is a couple of miles, right? So it would take you a little bit, probably take you about like an hour or two, somewhere in that range, to walk up to the market along the bank. Rowing would be a different matter, but putting you on a boat in the sound would make you more visible, right? So it would shorten the travel time, but would make you more visible is the situation. And to go back and kind of like answer what Bansii is worried about, because I was getting to that point, but we got to another question. He already said it, but the way in which he said it is kind of like hidden, right? Is he said that the way these conscription events kind of work in the past, or have worked, is that a boat will come out, right? And it'll stop at a place, pick up a couple people, go to another place, pick up a couple people, go to another place, pick up a couple people, right? Before eventually returning back to the fortification, which indicates that there's a lot of travel time. And you saw this boat. This boat was coming from the isle, from the fortification to this place. So this was their first stop. So it likely they were going to be gone half a day, most of the day, at least, going to a couple different homesteads, picking up people before returning to the fort to then have them start working. So likely,
so maybe it will be suspicious that it's just docked there and not moving on.
Might be suspicious. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe you guys take it to the next place.
So there's a situation where it's like you probably have a bit of time before anyone like comes calling, but obviously there is going to be something of a so and so never came back with our usual allotment of like conscripts. What's going on? We need to investigate this. But even so, there's also like the trip, them doing the conscripting run probably took a day, half a day to a day, right? But then there's also the question of like, how long will a force investigating take to be sent out and actually go do stuff? So you're only here for like 2 days. So you're probably completely safe for a day.
You don't want to just let them get murdered.
Sure. Well, you and these people are probably completely safe for a day. But the second day is questionable, right? That's where things could get a little touchy.
The other thing that we could do is make it very clear that it's us and that we'll be back.
Y'all talk amongst yourselves for like 2.5 minutes. Don't involve me.
I think even if we were to do that, they would punish the people here. Even if we said it was the Far Mariners, we murdered your people, the town would be implicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, I don't think we have much time to be able to investigate. And plus, if we do investigate and we get stuck, then
Yeah.
and then escape, we're not going to make it in time, or we're less likely to make it in time.
Yeah.
And we've got to remember our mission was to
So
get
the
information.
mission primarily was to figure out if they have cannon.
Yeah.
The people here seem to be pretty confident they've heard cannons, but they haven't seen them.
We don't have proof, but
we gotta get eyes on them. We don't necessarily need to fix everything here, but we gotta get eyes on the cannons.
They heard the cannon
maybe
fire.
Continue.
Maybe it's not cannons. Maybe it's something that sounds like cannons.
Continue talking amongst yourselves, but as a reminder, your mission is investigate the potential presence of cannons in Behekata and resolve the situation if you can.
Never mind.
Right?
All right,
that's
we're going
the
to the
second
fortress.
half of it is fix
style.
Get rid of the issue if you discover there is an issue, and only if you can't, then retreat with the knowledge and information back to Posa. Right? That's the three parts, is find out if there's any truth to the situation. If there is, fix the situation. If you can't fix the situation, then head back to Poso and get reinforcements.
Well, you heard Jeremy. We have to storm the fortress.
Yep.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all.
We were trying to be diplomatic.
Damn,
And not
Jeremy
murder
said he
hobos,
wasn't
but Jeremy
leading
said,
the witness, but here we go into the fortress.
Well,
try not to be murder hobos, and Jeremy says you got to be murder hobos.
I'm gonna say
he does that so much.
If all four of you feel confident and comfortable sailing back to Consul Haruto and being like, hey, yeah, there's totally cannons there. Right?
No, like I don't feel confident and comfortable doing that at all. It's but I don't feel confident and comfortable sailing up to this thing. I don't know what fortress right now with the resources that we have. That's the problem. I don't feel like we can just go on up there right now. But maybe you guys can come get Bansii and the rest of the crew, and I'll feel a little bit better if we have more people and we have their boat, and there'll be less.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Because then
we could
more
follow
of an
the same
ambush.
route.
Yeah, we could follow the same route. Come get us.
Rebels or.
Yeah, come pick us up. Like maybe one of you come get me, tell me the plan, and then pick up the rest of our crew. And whoever is willing to like come fight with us, that they're villagers, right, or townsfolk, and then go get rid of the problem that way. But again, I don't know that this really is a problem. But I'm kind of a more shoot first, ask questions later kind of person.
So it also sounds like this village chief has desires to fight back too, so we might get more resources meeting with him first.
Yeah, so maybe that's the plan: is recruit, get our crew, but then we have to go verify if there's actually cannons, because we can't go back to headquarters and say we don't really know if there's cannons, but there's a big bad guy.
We heard some villagers say they heard big booms.
He beat us up, and we couldn't go get to it. Yeah, that's not going to work.
I think regardless whether there's cannons, they're going to want to know.
I can't say for certain what it is, but I have a sneaking suspicion it's not cannons.
Right. So I think we have to go investigate, and I think you gotta swing by and get me and the rest of the crew, and let's go get some more people.
That's right now, Bansii is probably about right here. She's slowly trekking her way through the woods towards the boat.
I'm in the woods, and I am really scared. So you don't know any of my opinions.
You're already dead.
I don't think Bansii's scared of anything. What are you talking about?
Almost in there.
Bansii
peanut butter cookies and I'm trying to decide if I can get at least 5 of them before.
That's why she went back to the boat. Actually, she realized she left her cookies behind. She was like, "Ah, shit, nah. I'm gonna go back to the boat to make sure things are okay."
Ain't about
I'm
that life.
up an appetite. I want to get my cookies without anybody noticing. They'll be fine. They're making decisions. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm thinking about cookies and chocolate. Yeah, and peanut butter.
So what do people want to do?
All right. So in my opinion, I think the most important thing to do is quickly get over to Hedvin, get some more information that he might have, and if he has resources to help us get into the fortress, either sneakily or by force, we should just find out what our options are. So I think that would be the first thing that we should do.
Do you want to...
Until Jeremy's finishes eating and tells me otherwise.
Do you want to do that with just you, Yuvik, and Indy? Or do you want to go grab Bansii? Or do you want to head everyone back to the boat
I start teleporting
first?
After Bansii.
I was going to say, if there's anyone who can catch Bansii before she gets too far, it's going to be Higgins. So Bansii's just like trucking through the woods, and Higgins is...
night crawling through the limbs.
Night crawling through the treetops, and you catch Bansii halfway back to the boat.
Hey,
cookies.
We're gonna go see the village chief guy, Hedvin, before we make any drastic decisions.
Okay.
Bansii's like, who? What?
Okay.
We got time. We're okay. We'll go see him.
Right.
We'll come back to the ship and get the crew. Wait, how long did we say that we were going to be gone to them? Was it a day?
You told them a day.
And how long was it to get to the market?
Couple hours, maybe.
2
At
days.
most. A day. An hour and a half. Most.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Yeah, let's just go get it done and go back.
On foot
Faster,
or...
faster if you go by boat. Only like an hour to 2 hours if you go by foot. Faster if you go by boat. But by boat will be
put
more
Bansii on my
like out in the
shoulder
open.
and start night crawling back.
Okay.
That's a good way to travel.
Oh man, she's gonna start chucking cookies.
Actually, I think that's an interesting question. Does anyone who is untrained in the whole black ash teleport, does that have any adverse effects to someone who isn't used to it? I'm gonna put that question to Higgins.
Revenant
Okay, so
undead.
I think we should keep a
Sick.
tracker. And everybody should keep a tracker for how often they get teleported by Higgins. And the more often it happens, the more acclimated they get with it.
Sure.
But this time,
But
she's
what happens?
crazy.
Yeah, what
But
happens
Bansii
when
is
they're
getting-
not acclimated?
He's getting the crash
Bansii
course.
is getting the trial by fire right now. She will be hurling.
This is the scenario of like your parent caught you smoking one cigarette, so they make you smoke an entire pack of
Smoke the whole pack.
cigarettes.
Oh,
Because,
God.
like that, this is that kind of scenario. Oh God.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Oh.
Ugh. Man, I just wanted cookies.
All
To
right.
see these.
Higgins and Bansii arrived back. Bansii looking noticeably greener around the gills than when she left.
Probably pretty pissed about it. What are we doing now?
Just hanging out. I'll say we just missed you.
Yeah. We're
Do you want to
gonna
go back?
talk
And I put her on my shoulder again.
No, I'll walk. I'll walk. Thank you. Ugh.
No, we're. I think we're gonna head to see Hedvin first.
Yeah.
Get some
Harry Potter's
information
owl.
from him, and then meet back up with the crew.
There's a V, not a W. Get out of here, Jay.
That's
Okay. Cool. Are y'all going by foot or are you going by...
Actually, we'll ask the village guys, can we borrow a dinghy or some sort of small ship to get there quick?
Take this ship.
Yeah, Anton owns one of the boats and is more than willing to let
does it
you...
make sense for us to just take the War Dog's boat?
You could. It's gonna be it's a long ship, so it's gonna be difficult to. It's gonna be unwieldy with just 4 people.
Okay. Then I'm gonna ask the village. What do you think? What would you like us to do with the ship?
Anton will actually actually suggest because again they're on this promontory, right? And the east side is facing the fortress. So if he'll help, right? If y'all just drag it, kind of like tow it over to the west side of the promontory, it'll be hidden from sight unless someone specifically comes looking for it. At which case, it'd be a bad thing anyways. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't...
I'm sure Indy and I weigh more than the boat itself.
Absolutely, but between the party, it is easy enough to tie some ropes to it and kind of like haul it over there. Not even across land, because you're just kind of like navigating it around the edge of the water towards the west side of it. So pretty easy situation. Take maybe 30 minutes of your time, and then you're gonna get a dinghy from Anton, and yeah, he'll especially since he's under the impression now that you're all kind of here to like fix things, to be the, because he had mentioned, right, like that Hedvin had been kind of trying to rouse a rebellion to this situation, but that the general consensus was that they couldn't do it without outside assistance, that they needed some other group to come in and kind of like weigh things in their favor. And you're an outside group that just butchered a bunch of war dogs, right? So in Anton's mind, Anton's like, this is exactly what Hedvin's been saying we need. So hell yeah, you can take my boat and go see Hedvin. Go ahead.
All right, cool. Well, then we hop on the boat and get to moving.
We're on a boat.
Have a forget.
Oh. Sorry. You were moving you, and I was moving you at the same time. My bad. I will notate, specifically for Higgins, since he is the only person who took damage in that last fight, we are outside of combat. You can use recoveries to heal yourself if you would like to. Okay.
I've recovered.
Is that your first recovery?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't use it because my meal.
So So I'm gonna tick you back up to. Oh, sorry.
You double tick me.
I fixed it. I'm gonna tick you back up so that you're still at 8. All right. Very cool. So, party gets in a little dinghy, one of these little fishing boats. It's basically like just a little 4-seater with 2 oars. Doesn't even have like there's no mast, there's no sail, nothing like that. There is some initial like issue as you get out onto the sound because none of you know this area, none of you know the currents or anything like that, but pretty quickly Yuvik is able to take over and be like, I got this. I got this. And he gets you all moving at a good proper pace towards this kind of market. And as you get closer, you can see it's a pretty robust kind of like situation. It would not be out of place at an actual like it's bigger than what you would need for a village, right? It's more along the lines of like what you would get at a township or something like that. Pretty big. It all looks like it's temporary shelters for the most part. It's all like tents and a couple of like small wooden structures here or there. The docks, there's a couple of piers jutting out from the edge of the land where you can see a couple of different dinghies are tied up. And 2 longships are tied up. And as you approach, you can also see there seems to be some sort of like palisade that is built around the perimeter of the market, as in some sort of like defensive mechanism, right? Like, again, most of this area, you can see the tree lines around the sound have kind of been cut back, like pushing the wilderness back slightly. But this placement is so large. Even the little homestead that you were just at had this kind of like slight palisade to keep the wilderness at bay during the night, right? Because this is a land of potentially wild and dangerous creatures. So there's this more robust feature at the market than perhaps you would find elsewhere. Anything special as you all approach? Are you gonna just sail up to the pier and tie your boat off and walk into the market like you should be there, or are you gonna try to like dock or like beach the boat further west or something like that and approach stealthily? What's the play?
We're not in the other boat, right?
No,
Like,
you're not in the War Dog's longboat. You're in a villa. You're in one of the homesteaders' like little fishing boat.
We don't have like
little
a
rowboat.
reason to hide from this place, right?
No, yeah,
We'll
like
just approach normal.
I don't feel any reason why we should be sneaky.
I will remind you, I said that there are 2 longboats docked at this pier.
Oh, War Dog longboat.
War Dog longboats?
They seem the same.
Okay.
But
Well,
just
a little
because
bit
they're
more
here
concerning.
doesn't mean that there's going to be shit started. They don't know you.
Maybe they've
you can act
also
like...
been murdered.
Maybe they've also been murdered, yeah. That's how it works, right?
Yeah, totally.
We'll just sail the coast, stopping at each settlement, and just kill off a handful of war dogs. And by the time we get, all the way up and down, we would have taken out all 50, and we wouldn't even have to go to the port.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great plan.
Sorry. Actually, that might be a plan. Just war of attrition them, right? Like, if you want to do that,
We don't have the time, unfortunately.
It takes time. Slide aside. You don't have time for a siege. Slide aside. I forgot this. This is important. As you sail up, and around the island, presumably, I'm assuming you're going around the coast to kind of like avoid getting too close to the island where the fortification is, right? As you get about here, what you can see, the parts of the isle that you can see, differ from your initial scouting event, right? Where you first saw the fortification and you were like, oh shit, something's up. You can now see the backside of the isle. And there you see a small cove cut into the isle itself that provides this kind of like little natural harbor situation for the island. And you can see there are 2 vessels of note docked there. Both are large carracks, larger than the Scorpion.
Okay.
The first is I'd say carrack, but actually this vessel would be designed more like a junk. Still somewhat reminiscent of the Riojan Kalian style, right? Like a carrack would be, the European style, but with a couple of different mixtures, pieces of elements that Yuvik would recognize as Higaran. And this is a callback. This is information Bansii, Uvik, and Higgins are able to identify this vessel based on the markings that they see across the sound from it. This is the River of Ukiyo. This is the vessel that Odysseus told you about. The merchant's vessel that was hijacked, stolen. The merchant who had cannons that he was trying to sell to Odysseus black market style. This is the River of Ukiyo.
Okay, that's proof. That's proof. We can head back.
We can head back. Next to it is a fully Vaslorian carrack. 3-tiered, high, sitting high on the water. It is black. It looks as if it has been charred, intentionally charred. And upon its bowsprit, right, the figurehead there is a thing that Uvik recognizes instantly as an Odokuro.
Oh, I thought you were saying it's the narwhal.
It is an Odokuro. It is a giant skeleton. These are figures from Higaran mythos that come to life at command to destroy whatever they are bound to whatever is against what they are bound to protect. And upon the sails,
giant skeleton is on the ship.
It is built as the figurehead of the ship. So the bowsprit,
so
they have
not just a figurehead.
So there's a skeleton.
Yes,
shoved up the bow and the
bowsprit is like it's like the spine of this Odokuro.
Yep.
Yeah. And on the sails of this vessel is a white field and a talon matching the sigil Higgins has been tracking.
Oh, Higgins! Higgins! Bansii will elbow him and point. Higgins!
You hurt your elbow.
The rail of the ship that we are on cracks beneath Higgins' hand.
Yuvik's over here like double-armed rowing the rowboat, and you just hear behind him just
I can row 4 oars.
Absolutely.
Bansii will let everyone know that might be priority number 1. We will see.
So that is an important information that you all garner as you round that portion to where you can see the backside, see this cove. You can also see up beyond that the backside of the fortification is significantly less built up than the front side. It seems as if they have prioritized the side facing the entrance to the sound in their building project. So the front side is much more built than the back side of this fortification is. Any deviations, or are we still heading to the market without pause?
I mean, as of now, none of those people would know anything about it.
I like to imagine that whenever Higgins crushed the railing, like all of a sudden he bamped away, and all you can see is the indentions where his hands were. It was like, is he on the shit? No.
All right. You all approach the market, the Behekata market. You dock your little fishing dinghy at a pier that's jutting off on the south side of the market. You're able to tie it off without issue. There's no harbor master here. There's no type of that bureaucracy. There are people coming and going. You see a lot of people. You do see those 2 longships that indicate to you that there are probably war dogs here, but there's a bunch of people moving about, people at market, people trying to offload or onload goods onto boats, people living their daily lives without any sort of like helter-skelter freak out, right? You walk up the pier onto solid land, and one of the first things that strikes you is it smells, you can smell this intense aroma of charred cooking meat. And you look, your attention is drawn towards the center of the market, and you see there is an immense giant boar spit roasted out in the open. It's too big to actually be turned by any sort of like normal mechanisms, but there's like ropes in specific situations like tied about it to where they like a team of people can get on one side and heave and like flip it to like one side is how they rotate it. But there's people cooking this giant boar, which is, when I say giant, I mean this thing's like 20 feet long.
Jesus.
It's taller
really
than a
big boar.
It's taller than a horse. This is a monster. This is not a, oh, it's a really big pig. This is a monster that somebody has hunted in the wild, drug back to the market, and there is something to do about it, right?
You can pick 2. Boy.
Your attention drawn to the smell, drawn to the activity, the hustle and bustle around the market, also draws your eyes to an engagement on the north side of the market, where you see, standing in kind of like opposed groups, you see on the east side a group of war dogs. You see very clearly their gnarled, grotesque flesh stitched together, the misshapen, oddly formed bodies, the arms that aren't matching, etc., etc. Across from them, you see a large contingent of people. Most of them, and you know what? I'm not even going to worry about that yet. We'll worry about that later. Most of them dressed darkly, and most of them with large muscular builds, and most of them with shock white hair. Labeling them
Those the Viking dudes?
likely as Bannermen. Emblazoned on several of their breasts, on their chest pieces, you can see a familiar sigil. Drug behind them on a litter, you see... I'm just going to put it out here for you all to see here. Drug behind them on a litter, you see the head of an immense creature, as if they have finished hunting and slaying this creature, cut off its head, tied ropes to it, created like litters underneath it, and drug it back to the market. You see the head of this creature.
Boy.
That's cool looking.
That token cannot contain it.
Wow. The portrait's even
Is
cooler.
that relevant in size to our like 5x5?
Higgins, you see the visage, dead, eyes dulled, you see the visage of a draconic creature, and unbidden for a moment, you have a brief flashback. Kindly tell me what you see in your mind's eye.
Can you give me a little bit more prompting on what you're looking for?
You have previously witnessed the corpse of a draconic creature. And I'm interested to see
that's you want to know what my reaction to seeing this is. Got it.
In this moment is.
Yeah, so how many of them are there?
There are of the of the war dogs in the you see other war dogs throughout the market. Of the war dogs parlaying with this group, there's only 5, right? There are other war dogs throughout the market. You can see them here and there, but there are only 5 in this group that is parlaying with this other group. At the head of that other group are 4 individuals that seem to be doing the talking. Behind them is a retinue of 12, 16, like similar clad, white-haired, for the most part, individuals. This is a crew of 20-ish Vannermen. Strong enough to take down this creature.
Got it. Okay. Well, I don't know that Higgins would say much.
Not what he's saying. What do you have a flashback? Is my question.
Oh, okay. Lore dump, share. Got it. Okay.
It's up to you. You don't have to lore dump, but is there even just a moment where Higgins is like, similarities? It's up to you. You can lore dump if you want.
Yes. Sure. Fuck it. Why not? Let's go for it. So Higgins has a brief moment where he stiffens at the sight of this draconic beast being carried. And he flashes back to a couple years ago, returning to the mountain cavern where he served Lord Brax, to find his master decapitated and murdered, but no longer in his human form, but in his draconic form, with the sigil we see here wrapped in his talons.
In the same way? Not that you've said this out loud, but in the same way?
I don't know that it would be exact because they have the head here, whereas when
It was, but you guys aren't allowed
Higgins
to be on camera.
found it was just the
make sure
body.
I'm not like reading the room wrong. This isn't his head, right?
It is not his head.
Okay.
Say,
Lord,
it would be more familiar if you were to travel out into the wilderness, find their trail, and track it back to wherever this creature's lair was, because then you would find a headless body.
Yeah.
So this is like the opposite of what Higgins experienced.
Yeah.
Stop.
But that being said, if you guys are seeing Higgins, at least the front of him, you would see his eyes water a bit as he clenches his fist, staring at this hideous parade.
I have a question for you, Jeremy. So Bansii has taken a liking to Higgins because he makes her cookies.
Uh-huh.
She is also a wrathful spirit.
Mhm.
I'm wondering if she will take this as a personal affront because she is watching him. And she knows enough of a backstory that this is tied to like his personal like mission. He's given enough of a backstory. So would this trigger her wrathful spirit?
I'm gonna
that
ask.
She would just go.
I've got two concepts or two questions that maybe it does. We'll see. Right. So the first question is going to be to Mitch about Higgins. Is obviously right. Like you just said all of that out loud, but all of that was what your character was remembering, like the feelings and emotions, the vision. Right. How much do the crew? Like, I know you have told them that you are on a quest for vengeance or justice, right? But how much do the crew know about the depth of your history? Do they know you served a draconic master? And we'll get there. I had two things. Okay. I had two things, right. Lily! Two things! Got general first.
I think... So Higgins has not shared with anyone that Lord Brax was a dragon.
Okay, so no one, not even Bansii, knows that he was a dragon.
Yeah, no one knows that he was a dragon.
Okay.
If people were reading between the lines, they may have started to make assumptions.
Suspect.
He lived in a mountain cave. He was a recluse.
Mountain fastness. Wow. Cave fastness.
Whoosh.
But it wasn't like he was in his draconic form at all times. Like he spent a lot of time in a humanoid form. But Higgins has not shared that because obviously people like this hunt dragons, and there are, negative connotations that go along with them.
Sure.
So he has not really shared that his master was draconic.
So that's question/situation one. The second one, more pointedly, I would say to answer Lily's question about Bansii, right? We now know Bansii doesn't know that Higgins' master was a dragon. But
Correct.
I'm going to between Lily and Mitch, I'm going to let you two decide together how in tune, how close do you feel like Bansii and Higgins have come? Do you think together, you have to do this together, do you think Bansii is going to have gotten close enough to Higgins to read the room, to look back at Higgins in this moment, see it, look, and go, oh shit, and connect the dots?
I think that there's a very good chance that she would connect the dots, but we are playing a tabletop game. Let's roll some dice.
What?
Okay. I'm good with that.
Okay.
But I think you should get a bonus of some sort because of your efforts to get to know Higgins and be his friend.
Okay.
I'll let Jeremy figure out what that bonus is, or if it's like an advantage type thing.
Let's say it's an advantage type thing because she rolled a 9, so let's just let her roll again.
Like yeah, let's do an advantage.
Let's do an advantage scenario. Just let her roll again.
I rolled way worse.
Not great. So
you rolled one better.
You rolled one better. One better. It's a 10. I would say even if we were to give Bansii some sort of static bonus, like a +2 cookie, plus 2 for cookies, right? Even then,
sure.
A 12.
No, she doesn't have those. She threw those up.
A 12 is still just a tier 2. So I'm going to pause the question.
But what I would say then, what my argument would be, is that instead of going and spilling blood, she'd go and hurl an insult.
Okay, so what I'm going to determine is I'm going to say Bansii looking at Higgins doesn't quite connect the dots, but does understand, does intuit that something about this situation intensely upsets Higgins. And that, I think, is enough, because you're close enough, I think, that is enough for Bansii's wrathful spirit to be agitated. So now the question that I'm going to put to Bansii is how in control is Bansii of her wrathful spirit, in the concept that whatever you decide to do, there are nearly 20 of these motherfuckers and a bunch of war dogs around as well.
Right, so I don't think she's gonna lose it enough that she's gonna try and flatten the city block, which is kind of what Wrathful Spirit seems like it would do.
Yeah,
right?
like
basically the way it reads is she loses the way that the act, because this is whatever the game. Hold on, let me pull up the
complication.
Yeah, it's the complication. So you have to take a complication for your character, and I took Wrathful Spirit, and basically what it is like she loses all logic.
Yeah.
When she's insulted.
Yeah.
Right?
The question is how high on the meter?
Problematic.
Yeah. How high on the meter was this as an insult to Bansii? Is the question, right? Is it enough for her to go nuclear, or? Yeah.
It's not a nuclear response. I think it's enough that she'd be like, are we going to go hurl some insults at our friends over there? And he could be like, no, we're not. Right?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure. It's enough to where Bansii wants to do something. She feels
she wants to fuck him up, but is still in control enough that she's not just gonna go nuclear on him without consulting him.
Or exactly the without consulting. I think that's the trigger. That's the key there. Is normally the wrathful spirit thing is you get so angry that you don't fucking care. You're going Nova. Right? But this the dial on this is like, we didn't get to hear, we got to like hear, and it's enough to where someone from your group can be like, hold up, without you, because if you're all the way over, it doesn't matter if someone tries to restrain you. You're gonna start like flinging spells. You're gonna try to like incinerate things or bleed them from their skulls. Right?
And I'm actually really glad that this is like, I rolled so poorly, and this is the first time you guys are seeing her wrathful spirit, because I've mentioned it a couple times. But I mean it when I say that she's a wrathful spirit. She will go nuclear if somebody pisses her off enough.
So
because that's the drawback of her character.
It is a good thing that I do not have that complication, because we'd probably all die right here.
So I will say, we'll keep this kind of like between Bansii and Higgins, since this seems like a moment between them real quick. But Higgins, as you're coming out of this kind of like flashback, Bansii is looking at you. Everyone is kind of like stopped, and you're standing in a group, but Bansii is looking at you. And you see this look on her face, this like look of consternation edging on fury, and you see her head suddenly snap towards the group, right? Towards the object of your ire, and she starts to march towards them, right? Like that wrathful spirit kind of like triggering. She's gonna go do something, and
puts a hand on her shoulder and very gently but firmly kind of halts her and says, "We'll pick a better time, not now."
Bansii nods.
It is.
But I want to know what they're saying.
Oh. Okay.
Let's approach.
I was going to say, how do y'all want to go about that?
Let's try and get a little closer.
Okay.
Pulling too much attention.
Thankfully,
pull attention?
This discussion.
I don't know. I'm very attention grabbing.
Both
of us are.
This discussion, thankfully, is happening right next to the big boar cooking, the giant boar cooking in the center of the marketplace. So there are a bunch of people around this boar that are participating in trying to get it evenly cooked up, probably for some sort of feast this evening or something.
I'm very good at cooking.
Right? And
I bring
so
forth my chef certificate of masterful cooking.
I thought you were trying to not get spotted. Just force your way in and be like, actually, I can cook this better than all of you.
Actually, I know how to cook this.
Right? But the point that I'm trying to make is between the crowd with the war dogs are strange, grotesque folk. And these bannermen stand out amongst all of these other people, right? There's this big squadron of people here. It helps to mask the strangeness of each of your individual features. If you were to go start something or go start a conversation or try to get involved in something, then yes, you're going to stand out more. But right now, as long as you're kind of laying low and just edging closer to kind of try to overhear things, you don't stand out as much because all of these people, one, are focused on the work that they're doing, but two, you can see that they're becoming normalized to the presence of these other strange peoples, to the war dogs, to these Vannermen. So your presence is less of a factor to them. And it's relatively simple for you to kind of edge closer to try to overhear this conversation. And what you hear is basically one individual, this kind of very ashen looking war dog who doesn't actually have that much stitching across his body, but lets off this kind of even over the smell of the boar, you can kind of smell this acrid stench of sulfur kind of wafting from his direction. And across from him are those 4 Vannermen bearing the emblem, the mark that Higgins has been hunting for. And behind them, right, is kind of the rest of their retinue, having drug the Thorn Dragon's head into the marketplace. They're talking amongst with each other, and there seems to be an argument over payment, over the amount that was due for the delivery of this beast's head. And eventually you hear the argument kind of subsides in this war dog tossing across a pouch laden with coins, presumably, but then basically simply saying, look, if you want more, if you want to argue the point, you'll have to go back to the fort and talk to the commander, because I don't have any more, and that's where your damn ship is anyways. So and there's obvious discontent from these Vannermen, but they're not about to just butcher the war dogs in front of them. Though there is, I don't think any rolls needed. There's a couple of looks between these 4 main individuals, as if they are assessing whether or not they just want to kill all of the war dogs here before they leave, just 'cause. And then they shrug, move past the war dogs, and you can see them head over to one of those longships, right? And behind them, their retinue drags the head over to the pier. You can hear the pier creaking under the weight of the head. Before eventually, it takes them probably about 20 minutes before you see one of those 4 Vannermen. I keep saying Vannermen because that's the general marker for them, but they're not all men. One of the 4 is a woman, stark white hair, this kind of scar over her eye. You can see her aboard the longship get kind of frustrated as the retinue is trying to get the the head onto the ship. And you see her suddenly shout, or you hear her suddenly shout. You look over there, and she is levitating in the air. Her hands come up. You see the head lifts up, floats over onto the longship and down, and the retinue kind of swarms over, lashing it into place. But you can see this thing it's so big, it weighs so much that there's obviously going to be some issue piloting this longship. But they seem well coordinated and knowledgeable enough to the task. And
Done this before.
Eventually they are kind of like out of the situation. They haven't quite left yet, but they're in process of leaving, which allows you all to do something else if you so choose. But also notably, again, I'm going to point this out, probably makes you more apparent in whatever it is you might want to do next, as their commotion is leaving, and thus the mask that they have presented for your presence is leaving, while the war dogs are remaining.
Well, we don't have to stand there and watch them for the full 20 minutes.
You do not.
Yeah,
no, you do not.
I think we're good. I don't gain anything from watching them load the head onto the ship. I will ask around town, like some of the civilians, not the war dogs, obviously.
Sure.
What the name of that group of Vandermen is called.
That lot? I've been trying to stay out of the way. But, I heard Shemka, I think she said something about them being called the Ivory Talon. And I don't know how you react to that, Mitch, but I think Higgins probably feels like he just got slammed. The name doesn't mean anything to Higgins. Not yet, anyways. But after years of searching, finally hearing the name of the people that are likely responsible for the death of his master. Well, it's up to you how he reacts.
A lot. I don't know how he would react just yet. I think it is more of just a shock and just trying to internalize it at the moment.
It might not even be processing yet. It might, like you said, just be shock. Like, oh, now I have this information, but my brain is not going to process this for a while. Like,
Bansii will lean over and say, "They all must die." Just nod.
Yes, they will.
They continue, right? Like, this is all happening at the same time. They continue their loading efforts, and it's clear that they're gonna shove off after they get everything secured and go about their business and everything like that. In the meantime, you've garnered this information, but you were here to see a man, to see Hedvin, to try to learn more about what the fuck is going on here, and whether or not you can get some support. Maybe there's some sort of, like, resistance brewing.
Where can we find Hedvin?
Yeah. Easy enough to ask around. You get directed to the guy that's trying to, like, coordinate the group of, like, 10, 15 people that are slowly rotating this giant boar in the center of the damn marketplace. There's this older individual who, when you first approach him, they look stocky. right? They look kind of like stout, and they look short, right? It's you're pretty. They're pretty short, and when I say that, notably, Indy, they're only a little, like maybe a few inches taller than you, right? Which is very short for your typical human, right? And when they kind of like turn slightly, you can see their face is incredibly rugged. They have this big white bushy beard. They're clearly like up in age. But their features, especially across their face, are pocked and pebbly, where it looks as if part of their skin is a fairly pale skin tone, fairly pale fleshy skin tone, and then it looks as if they have dark granite pieces inset into various portions of their face. And Indy, I think I don't know if everyone else would have the same reaction. Probably a couple of you would know vaguely. But Indy, I think you're the ones who's going to have the first reaction, knowledgeable reaction. This is a mule. This is a half dwarf, half human. And they are incredibly rare individuals, primarily because normally humans and dwarves can't procreate. It's incredibly rare for them to be able to make viable offspring. Part of which they're kind of why they're referred to as mules, in this kind of like weirdness. But yeah, this person, this Hedvin that you've been directed to, seems to be coordinating the efforts of getting this giant boar cooked in the center of the market.
Well, I get excited and I go talk to my, I guess, cousins.
your half cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Yeah, the party approaches Hedvin. How do you want to go about this conversation? Do you want to just like do you want to try to role play through this in this immediacy, or do you want to try to get him to go somewhere private so you can have the real conversation? And that's to the party, not just to Mark or to Indy. Like, how do y'all want to go about this? Mitch, you're muted if you're talking.
Sorry. I think it'd probably be a good idea to try and talk to him not 10 feet away from the war dogs.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of war dogs around and about. You can see they're not posted up at any one particular place in the market. They're kind of like milling about. Some of them actually seem to be shopping. There's a general unease amongst the people working in the market, shopping in the market, but it's kind of like on the low key. Like they've gotten used to enough to things that they're trying to not make a big fuss of it. But yeah, if you want to approach him, and as soon as he sees the four of you, he's like, "What the fuck?" So like, if you want to get him to like go off on the side or talk in private somewhere, he seems amenable to that concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think let's try to do that. Do you want to take the lead here, Indy, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I can approach the cousins or the mules, and I'd be like, "Oh, it's so good to meet other like people," and then I'm like, introduce myself, and then once he introduces himself as Hedvin, then I can like, oh, I look at him and I was like, "Is there any place we can all, reconcile or talk in private, to reconnect?"
Yeah, he'll invite you to this kind of like tent awning scenario that's kind of like set up in the northwestern portion of the market, kind of like bring you all over there. He'll offer you like some water, right, refreshment. And it's very clear that he's got this like appraising eye. He's not your normal folk. It's clear he's like been some places and seen some stuff. And so he's kind of like studying you all throughout this initial interaction of like, oh yeah, sure. We can come over here. My stall's up over here to the side. But it's very clear that he has this kind of like reaction of, oh, something's up. These people, I've never seen these people, and these people very obviously are not a part of the groups that I have been having to deal with recently. And he's curious about it, right? Like, not hostile, not in any way, shape, form, or fashion seemingly like coy. Just brings you over to his little area and offers you some drinks. And it is 10:18. How late can people go? Do people have like another 15 minutes?
I can do another 15, but
another 15 minutes. Okay. We're going to shift gears real quick. We're going to shift gears. There is something else happening right now. As the party begins to discuss things with Hedvin, and maybe get some more information about what the fuck is going on, maybe get some answers on the questions they're interested in, maybe get some information on Les Resistance. Back aboard the Scorpion.
Oh.
The crew...
I knew I should have made it to the ship.
Back aboard the Scorpion, the crew, which in their last exchange with the party, had been told that if the party does not return within the day, they are to leave. They are to head back to Pouso and report on the situation. They are advised that they were advised that there is likely a threat here and that they should be watchful. They're anchored on the west kind of like peninsula that snakes down towards the mouth of this inlet body of water. Kind of trying to stay out of sight, but there's not you're a boat, right? Like your vessel is not a teeny tiny dinghy that can be drug up on shore and covered in brush to hide it. It's a ship anchored off the coast. And so as a long ship comes rounding the bend up the side, the western side of this promontory, the Scorpion is seen. Yoham is the first to see the long ship approaching. And there is some discussion aboard the crew, or amidst the crew, of what exactly they should do about the situation. But ultimately, they don't want to leave. They don't want to just weigh anchor and try to outrun the ship, even though they probably could, because doing so would mean that it's possible that you all might not be able to find your way back to the ship. And because doing so would indicate to these individuals on the long ship that there is some issue here, right? So the general accord amongst the crew is decided, hey, if they approach, if they hail us, we've got plenty of excuses that we can come up with. No big deal. We're not clearly marked as a naval vessel. We'll bluff our way through. It'll be fine. As the longship approaches, again, it's Yoham who's kind of like up in the not the forecastle, whatever the fuck the scenario is where the steering wheel is. I'll learn boat terms eventually, I promise. For our archipelago adventure, I will learn boat terms eventually, I promise. After we are done with it, I'm sure. It's Yoham who is the first to point out that it's war dogs in the longship. There is immediately a general unease, except for among Ambrosio and Aurelia. Aurelia does not seem to give a shit, and Ambrosio is excited. Just a nervous bundle of excitement. Right? The longship comes alongside, hails the Scorpion. Yoham responds. The longship, the leader of the war dogs aboard that longship, briefly discusses things with Yoham. Informs Yoham that this is not free area and that they will need to come aboard in order to make sure that this vessel is not a threat, and then the vessel will need to follow them back to the sound, to the fort, though they don't say fort, back to their base in order to log their presence and then be set about their way. None of your crew, like, this is happening, like, this conversation's happening from the deck of the Scorpion down onto this longboat, right? None of your crew are like, oh yeah, that totally sounds up and up. It's very fine, right? Like, so Chella is immediately down below, right? Goes down below to attend the Hummer in case there needs to be a quick getaway. And up on deck are your retainers. They are prepared. They are ready for things to go south here. But at the same time, they have with their bluff, they have no reason to tell these war dogs, no, you can't board this vessel, right? So a rope ladder is dropped, and some of the war dogs start coming up. As they are assembling on the deck, there's about 8 to 10 of them, right? As they are
88.
There's 88 of them. There's 500 of them.
A lot of people on a freaking ship.
Yeah. As they are kind of assembling, there is an unease across the crew, but they're keeping the bluff up, right? Yoham is doing the talking, Ambrosio is in the back, so his nervous bundle of energy is not a thing, and otherwise everything is going fine. The main war dog steps forward. Yoham walks him around. He asks, a couple questions. Yoham bluffs his way through, and it's going well until the last of the war dogs climbs up the rope ladder and steps onto the deck of the Scorpion. And I apologize if Discord might... I'm going to try to do this, but Discord might cut me off, because Discord do be doing that sometimes.
Thank you, Discord. He's going to try.
He's gonna try. He's gonna try and scream.
There is a sudden, deep, sharp bellow from Robert Ames. He roars and lurches forward suddenly, screaming, "Edward! Edward!" And he slams into this last war dog. A fist comes down into the war dog's face with a crunch. How dare you wear my face?
I understand how angry he is,
Happened.
but we only
how
got
dare
the
you
end of every word.
Thank you, Discord. He screams.
Where's somebody's face?
He screams, "How dare you wear my brother's face?" Each word enunciated by him, pounding the skull and face of this war dog into the deck of the vessel. And it's very clearly going to be initiative for your retainers. And that is where we are going to end tonight's session.
Okay.
So,
Alright.
Damn.
we'll see how that
What
works.
are the chances?
So, war dogs are really fucked up, y'all. They're body parts of deceased people stitched back together to make new people.
Yikes.
Keep that in mind.
What are the
Well, you
odds?
should have gone back
Some dude
to
that
the
took your
boat.
brother's face.
What are the odds? What are the odds? Who would get out of here, Thorn Dragon? Get out of here. No, we don't need you right now. All right, that's it. Thanks for playing, everyone. I hope you enjoyed getting more stuck into this situation and maybe figuring things out, maybe not figuring things out. Some stuff happening with Higgins' backstory. Question marks.
We're just glad that Bansii did not roll well today.
Did not immediately pick up on things, did not intuit, and thus did not try to start the biggest fight in the world in the market.
That would have been a problem, but you know,
It
then
would
we would have gotten to murder them. So
It would've
We
been
have an
thing.
opportunity to do that here, and then again later at the fort.
I'm gonna throw this out there. I think it's intuited already, but for clarity, Higgins, your master as a dragon was not a chump.
yeah, they
I
could
mean,
have.
Whoever has the capability of killing your master and also this other draconic energy tracking it down and killing it and bringing back its head, these are not your normal ruffians. So do with that what you will when picking fights in the future.
Yeah, well, Bansii don't
Not
care.
always.
Bansii don't care. Bansii's already dead. Whatever.
She
Yeah,
don't care.
right. Nothing to lose.
That's right.
All right. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.